Hello and welcome. You're watching To The Point. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Is there fresh trouble for Robert Vadra and for the Congress that has defended him throughout? Because the probe panel that was looking into the land deals made by Robert Vadra's company has submitted its report to the Haryana government today. And Justice Dhingra was very clear that there are enough irregularities in the land deals to warrant a report that runs into more than 180 pages. Also the question, what about the role of former Haryana Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda?
Is this the man guilty of political muscle flexing? Did he, Robert Vadra, use his Congress connections to give his business a push-up? All answers in an exclusive 180-page report supposedly exposing Vadra's role in Haryana's land scam has been submitted to the state government. No details were revealed, but there were enough hints to indicate that Vadra and Congress may be in trouble.
Irregularities नहीं होती तो मैं सिर्फ एक सेंटेंस की रिपोर्ट देता कि इसमें कोई irregularity नहीं। मेरी रिपोर्ट में 182 पेज हैं, तो बिना मिले 182 पेज लिखने के लिए मेरे पास कोई कारण नहीं था।
According to high-level sources, the Commission has found criminal conspiracy by the former BS Hooda government. Action has been recommended against Hooda and, importantly, against several companies owned by Robert Vadra. The report, as per sources, calls for at least 6 FIRs to be filed. The report says rules were set aside, land use certificates changed to massively benefit a select few.
The Dingra Commission report has set the stage for a fierce political battle in the forthcoming assembly elections. Priyanka Gandhi is expected to spearhead her party's campaign in Uttar Pradesh, and the BJP will be hoping to use the Dingra Commission's findings to haul the Congress leadership and the party over the coals.
The Congress, no wonder, is crying foul, accusing Haryana's BJP government for a witch hunt.
Justice S.N. Dhingra Commission of Inquiry has been completely unable to appreciate the conspiracy of name-calling and mudslinging without an iota of evidence.
Now he has confirmed that yes, there has been irregularities, and he has said, I have given names which are public and private. So it is a good indication whom he is referring to.
Interestingly, Vadra himself is not called for questioning in the probe. This may be a small consolation for Sonia Gandhi's son-in-law, who will have to answer for the action of his companies. Bureau Report, India Today.
So what exactly does the Dhingra Commission committee report mean for the Congress, for Mr. Hooda and for Robert Vadra? More specifically, we've got spokesperson of the Congress, Sanjay Jha, joining us live, as is GVL Narasimha Rao, spokesperson of the BJP. Senior advocate KTS Tulsi joins us. Ashish Khaitan, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, will be joining us in just a while. But let me ask you first, Sanjay Jha. There are major irregularities on that. Justice Dingra was quite clear. Are you still going to stick to your earlier assertions that not one thing wrong has been done by either Mr. Vadra or his companies?
Padmaja, in all honesty, it will be inappropriate on our part to comment on a report that we have not seen. We heard briefly what Mr. Dingra said in the press conference. We believe some media channels have had access to the report, which basically confirms what we have been saying. Imagine a commission of inquiry report which talks about having looked at all kinds of land transactions being available with the media before the government, and it's already being talked about in the public domain. Now, as a responsible party, we can't really kind of comment on what is being speculated today.
No, but we're not speculating. I was asking you a question based on what Justice Dingra actually said, that in land allocation, irregularities have taken place, and substantial ones at that.
Padmaja, there is a very interesting point here, that the Commission of Inquiry looked at approximately 63 acres of land out of an aggregate of 33,000 acres of land that were licensed by the Haryana government. I think anyone with even a modicum sensibility will figure out that there is something extremely fishy and parochial about the way the focus has been brought down to 63 acres because one of them happens to be the land transaction of Mr. Robert Vadra. I think end of day this has been a political vendetta, a larger conspiracy, and I would like to be very explicit on your channel India Today to tell you that Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi principally started targeting Mr. Robert Vadra during the election campaign. It's been 2.5 years of his government at the center. There are governments in Haryana and Rajasthan, and so far they have been able to prove nothing against him. So this is going to be a
well, let's see what the committee report says. But I will also let GVL Narasimha Rao open with his comments on what you have said. It's a compromise probe. It's a compromise probe panel. So in all likelihood, the findings will also be compromised. That is the insinuation of the Congress, GVL Narasimha Rao.
Padmaja, I think this is the last resort of anyone who is facing serious allegations, anyone who is considered to be involved in cases of corruption. This is the last resort they take. Somehow try and besmirch the reputation of the person concerned, the judge concerned. His credibility is very high. It is Robert Vadra credibility which has sunk so low in the country. So people of the country will simply not pardon Congress for making such personal allegations against the judge. Let the people of the country decide. And the Congress seems to have had a change of heart. If what Sanjay Jha is saying is the Congress's official position, they seem to have jumped into a press conference as soon as the report was submitted by Justice S.N. Dhingra. So possibly, they, as you say in Hindi, chor ke dadi mein tinka. He did not take any names, nor did anyone have access to the report. None of us have had a glimpse of the report. It is in the custody of the state government. So the Congress, the manner in which they came out, all guns blazing against judge, somehow trying to salvage some reputation, clearly shows that they know their position is extremely untenable, and Mr. Vadra's position is extremely weak. And the case of corruption was more or less established by the CAG itself.
Okay, so this will go back and forth, but I'll quickly let Sanjay Jha respond before I get in KTS Tulsi on the more legal aspects of what this commission could do for Mr. Vadra and Mr. Hooda. Let Sanjay Jha quickly respond.
Padmaja, in brief, I mean, Mr. Rao contradicts himself back to back. Number one, he says that the report hasn't mentioned any names. In the second statement, he says Mr. Vadra's position is extremely weak. I think he needs to make up his mind. That's the whole problem. You see, when you get into this, just 1 minute. Since you get into a political vendetta mode, you
you're misquoting me. Judge did not take any names in his press conference.
Just a minute. I think the viewers have understood what I'm saying. So end of day, when you indulge in this hypocrisy, when there is this orchestrated campaign to try and tarnish Mr. Vadra's name, because Mr. Vadra is part of the Gandhi family. You see, Padmaja, let's not beat about the bush here. The targeting of Mr. Vadra is because it is an attack on the Congress party. And the Congress party is a party that you heard Mr. Modi say every time. He's obsessed with the Congress party. He keeps talking about Congress Mukt Bharat on every alternate day. So this is a larger political game.
No, but then,
Mr. Vadra
then
is a
to
soft
flip
target.
that logic, Mr. Jha, perhaps, and in fact, this has been said time and again that it was for his very association with the Gandhi family, because of it, that Mr. Vadra has made the kind of windfall fortune that he has since 2008 to now. So that logic can also be turned around. But I want to get in KTS Tulsi at this point. Judging from what Justice Dingra has said today and the few details that we have put out, how bad do you think, Mr. Tulsi, it looks for Robert Vadra and for Mr. Hooda?
It doesn't look bad at all. In fact, I think that I can't recall any instance where a judge who's doing a commission of inquiry on submitting report chooses to address press conference. And I also can't recall a commission which would name any person in an adverse manner and without giving notice under 8B. Complete denial of natural justice. But there is one fact which I hope Mr. Justice Dhingra did take that into account. I don't know whether he did or not, because none of us have seen the report, and that is the order of the government of 15th November 2008. Mr. Skylight Hospitality had applied for extension because they could not within 60 days complete any transaction with the DLF. And they asked for extension, condonation of delay and extension of the license which had been granted. This license was refused by Haryana government. And as a result of this refusal, instead of having to pay 3 crore 62 lakh, which he would have paid otherwise, he had to pay 7 crore 15 lakh, a net loss of 4 crore 13 lakh. Now I don't understand if the Haryana government was favoring or disfavoring him, merely because he is the son-in-law and no one should be able to allege any partiality. I hope that
no, but
Justice
Mr. Tulsi,
Dingra
you are
has gone
quoting
through
one
the files.
instance, whereas there are other instances where favoritism has been shown, especially when it came to change of land use or how there was ad hoc allotment of land, which is what Justice Dhingra has spoken about today. Let me get GVL Narasimha Rao to respond to that.
No, Padmaja, I think Mr. Tulsi, I think it's in all fairness, it should be stated he was a counsel for the Haryana government. He was himself paid a handsome money of something like crores of rupees for legal.
That is not a crime.
For his legal, no, for 5 crores, for
That's
5 crore rupees for what kind of services, I don't know. And he is not, and he is also the spokesperson for Robert Vadra and the Congress party. So you have two of them on the panel. I have no problem with that. But as far as the facts are concerned, I think the CAG had more or less established. Windfall gains were made. He had not even paid 1 penny in this transaction. This is Robert Vadra model of development. I think 43, 45 crores of profit he makes without investing a penny.
Total wrong.
Without investing. This is the fact.
No.
I think he has been given a license. Under normal circumstances, he is not allowed even to transfer license to DLF. These are the facts. I think you have people of the country know how you have lied in Colgate, how you and Congress have lied in 2G spectrum. You claim there was zero loss in all these mega scams running into lakhs of crores. And people have rejected the Congress position, and they know. And they know you are on the wrong clearly here.
The CAG has.
If you were a bronze dealer in Moradabad,
before you respond to that, Mr. Tulsi, I would like to quote from the CAG report, which though it did not name Mr. Robert Vadra, did name his company, and I am quoting it from now. It said the department neither at the time of granting in principle approval nor at the time of formal approval for transfer of licenses ensured that net profit beyond 15% of the total cost accrues to the public exchequer, implying that undue favors were given to builders. Coincidentally, one of them happened to be a company owned by Mr. Robert Vadra. Mr. Tulsi?
Now, I want to answer that. Can I?
Yes, please.
Can I say something? Padmaja, can I
Yes, Mr. Tulsi, go ahead.
State the facts? You see, the CAG also perhaps did not take into account that 7 crore 95 lakh had been paid by way of stamp duty for the purchase of this land. 7 crore 43 lakh had been paid as commercial colony charges. 73 lakh had been paid as a renewal or license fee. And that takes us to 16.1. Then after it was rejected, 8 crore was paid as tax. And that takes the total investment of Skylight Hospitality for acquiring 3.5 acres of land to be 24 crore 11 lakh. Now, after 4 years, if you make a profit of if you sell it for 58 crore, I want to know in land deals who doesn't make profit in this country. And at that time,
well, not everyone makes that kind of profit, but GVL Narasimha Rao wants to respond.
No, but this is 4 years. 4 years, the price only doubled.
You see,
4 years of investment.
The Congress, can I? No, I think.
And this is not what the Prime Minister has been saying in his election. This is not an election meeting.
Any money, only the money. He had started paying only after he received monies from DLF. So this was only a paper transaction. Can we have the Congress to speak? Tulsi, have you also become official spokesperson for Congress party?
I'm saying stick
I
to
think,
the
can I
facts.
get my say, Padmaja?
Stick to the facts, don't
I think
spread
this,
lies.
without investing 1 rupee, you are twisting facts.
Who said?
You are speaking like Kapil Sibal in 2G scam. You are speaking like Chidambaram. You
What
all
is
tried
this?
to hoodwink the
Padmaja, you
people
need
of
to
the
stop
country.
Mr.
People
Rao. He is
rejected your
exceeding his brief.
explanations. And now you have Justice Dhingra's report.
If you have
Let the
no
report
answer,
place all the
you can
facts.
call names
And
to
if you
everyone.
think, if you have any facts to counter, you have committed such naked
24
corruption
lakh,
that you are scared of
24
being
crore,
caught
11 lakh.
and scared of being sent
Answer that.
in prison. And therefore you are coming up with these atrocious explanations. No money
What
was paid
nonsense
by
is this?
Robert Vadra from his
Utter
company.
nonsense.
Not 1 rupee. He has, it's
Padmaja,
only
can I
money
who
from
said that?
DLF that was
24
used
crore,
to
11
pay.
lakh.
And certainly, I think these are the facts. I think if you want
This
to
is
lie,
not an election meeting that you can get away with.
I challenge you. Why was the Congress? Why was the Congress leader? Why were the Congress spokespersons not presenting the facts? You are only saying we are chore, but why have you not caught
Haryana
other chores?
government disfavored
You are
him.
saying we have committed theft. We have committed theft.
Haryana
Why are
government
you not
disfavored
catching
him. No
other thieves?
theft. You are
That's the
talking
only
about.
defense that the Congress party
All right, so
has.
No, no,
Sanjay
theft
Jha,
is-
according to
theft
KTS
is by-
Tulsi, the Haryana
No,
government
this
actually
is the
disfavored Robert
official
Vadra, in
reaction
which
of the
case he
Congress
must
party.
have
Yes.
he must have a great piece of luck, because everything really seemed to work in his favor in the years after 2007.
Well, I want to tell you one thing, Padmaja.
It
I mean, this
didn't- it didn't-
debate,
they can-
this debate should be, we should not allow, this hollow rhetoric of Mr. Rao, who's almost sounding, he's trying to, accuse all Congress leaders. He's
what
using
Tulsi,
he's
Mr.
using
Tulsi
the
and you are
India
saying
Today
are-
platform.
Then to be fair,
make
Sanjay
a
Jha, there have
political
also been
speech.
numerous occasions where you've just dismissed an entire probe as nothing more than a witch hunt. That
Well,
would also count as rhetoric. So
let me tell
everyone
you,
gets their
I'm
say.
I'm answering you by facts.
Yes.
Firstly, number one, you raised this point about about depositing profits above 15%. Let me tell you, even that is technically incorrect, because as per the law of the land, that only applies to those projects that are completed. Mr. Vadra's project was still a work in progress, still was ongoing.
It doesn't apply to Robert Vadra.
Just can I speak for a minute? Will you stop interrupting me, Mr. Rao? And yours is a party which is involved in multiple scams, starting with a Vyapam, where you have murdered people in Madhya Pradesh. Let's
I
not make
think
this a cheap debate.
this
So
is-
now don't interrupt me. Let me
You
speak.
try your luck.
Don't speak.
You
Don't
won't
speak in the
succeed.
middle. Now, Padmaja, the larger point here is that, end of day, we can talk about it in the television studios. The confidence of the Congress party comes from one simple fact, which is that the matter does not end here. First, let the report get public.
Okay,
Second,
but let me
for-
quickly
for
ask a
every-
follow-up question.
for
So you're
every
saying that,
point made,
that at
they
every
have
point,
documentary
people
evidence
like
to
Ashok
counter
Khemka,
the position.
the CAG, and now Justice Dhingra, all of them have in some way or the other already had their opinions weighted against Robert Vadra?
Well, the point I'll make one very simple point, Padmaja, that will enlighten, I think, a lot of people here on the panel. And that point is, Mr. Vadra was not the only, if there was, for example, a change in land norms, it was not just meant for Mr. Vadra. He had just 3 acres of land. It changed for people who had thousands of acres of land. Is the Haryana Commission of Inquiry, or is Mr. Khattar and the BJP saying that everybody who bought land during the period aggregating 33,000 acres were indulging in something illegal?
So are
For
you saying that
heaven's
this is
sake.
a small scam, concentrate on the bigger ones?
No, that's not the point. The point we are saying is this is selective
no scam.
targeting. This is selective targeting. It is saying that 1 minute, because Mr. Robert Vadra
There was
is
no
a
cold
soft
scam.
target,
There was
because
no 2G
Narendra
scam.
Modi, India's
There
Prime
is no National Herald
Minister, during
scam.
the election campaign, attacked Mr. Vadra. Now Mr. Narendra Modi has to go back to the people of India and say, because I accused Mr. Robert Vadra, and now the CBI, the state governments and the central government is under me, I must keep the pot boiling on Mr. Robert Vadra.
Jivel
Which is
Nasamara wants to
exactly what is
respond.
going on.
Padmaja, I think this kind of explanation trotted out by the Congress party has been rejected by the people of the country repeatedly. They claim
We are
zero
talking
loss
law
in
at the
2G
moment.
spectrum.
We're talking law. Don't
Kapil
worry about
Sibal
the
is
people.
again
They
a
will
great
reject
lawyer
this too.
like Mr. Tulsi.
Okay, I
And
have to go.
people completely rejected it. Coal scam, they claimed the
Hey,
entire
you've
coal was
forgotten,
there
you've
under the
forgotten
Mother
Lalit
Act and
Modi
no
scam.
happened.
You forgot the
National
Rajasthan
Herald, they claim
scam.
no scam
You
happened.
forgot the
I think
PDS scam
Gandhi
in
is-
Chhattisgarh.
I think the
You
first
forgot
family
the
of the
Anirban
Congress
scam in
party
Gujarat,
family
you
of the
forgot the
Congress
GSPC
party
scam
has
of Mr.
become
Narendra Modi.
a real
You want me
estate-
to tell you the
a
scam
real
with
estate
BJP?
company.
The BJP
I think they
scams
have
are
used-
laundry, grocery
I think
list long.
both-
Hey, listen, Rao, don't indulge
Okay, I have to
in
go.
simply
Okay.
Real
mudslinging.
estate.
Okay,
I
Mr.
have
Tulsi,
a
Mr.
list
Tulsi,
of
before you go, I know that you have to leave, but I want to quickly get your one very important point. When someone as esteemed as a Justice Dhingra comes out with a report and there are questions raised about its intent, what kind of probe is actually going to convince you that it's fair and square and that its findings can be believed? Before you leave, if you can answer that.
You know, I want to know whether Justice Dhingra got a gift of land on the 14th of May 2015. And this is, I think Justice Gopal Singh retired 30 years ago. This, I don't know the year in which he passed away, but this trust has been in existence for maybe 20 years or 15 years. This trust never got any land except after he has been appointed the judge as a commission of inquiry.
That's right.
And then the road also gets made only now. This
Okay.
is too much.
Okay.
For
1 crore
a
was spent on
judge.
So I think the
Let him
indication is
answer.
quite clear there. I'll
Special
let Jivel
facility for
Narasimha Rao
Justice
respond to
Dingra.
that without, of course, making any personal comments about Justice Dingra himself. Yes, Jivel Narasimha Rao, please respond to that.
I think these allegations were made every time a report is due for submission. The Congress rushes to make allegations because they know their complicity is likely to be exposed. I think Justice Dingra had answered all these allegations a couple of months ago, around the time when the extension
Correct.
was given for submission of the report. And when he has not been given a coal mine, like Congress party and their leadership have indulged in.
Here he
He has not
starts
been given a
again.
2G license.
You know, this man
I
has
think
no
villages
answers. He's only
which
making
require a
political
public
speeches here.
asset.
display some
Three
maturity.
villages which require a road, a public. No, I
Okay,
think
let me ask you a
that's how
counter
do
question.
your
Okay, let's
politics.
not go into
You would
rhetoric
have
like
given a
Sanjay
coal
Jha said.
mine.
Let me ask you a counter question, Jivel Narasimha Rao. The
This is
timing of
public
this report
utility.
being submitted happens just at a time when the Congress's campaign in Uttar Pradesh is in all likelihood going to have a very strong role being played by Priyanka Gandhi, who of course is married to Robert Vadra. How can you then brush aside the suggestion that maybe this is your Ramban to sort of incapacitate or maybe at least hamstring Priyanka Gandhi?
I think he agrees with you there. This
I
is
think,
that political
Padmaja, you don't
conspiracy.
waste your weapons. You don't waste your weapons on a party which doesn't exist on the ground. We don't think Congress party is even present any remote part of Uttar Pradesh. I think we are
I'll answer
aiming
it.
at forming the government. We are in conflict. We are in competition with the Samajwadi party. Congress doesn't exist. Please do not underrate our political intuition. Congress doesn't exist in Uttar Pradesh.
Okay.
So we don't want to waste our time on spent forces, parties and leaders who have absolutely no traction.
Will you go
in
the
today's
whole hog,
politics.
Jivel Narasimha Rao, now that Justice Dhingra, according to our sources, has suggested the filing of FIRs to maybe arrest Robert Vadra and Mr. Hooda? If that is mentioned in the report?
I think, Padmaja, I would not be. I certainly would not know what line of action will be taken. It will all depend on the conclusions arrived at by Justice Dingra committee report. I have no access to it, and possibly nobody had read this report because it's 180 page long. I think certainly the intent of the government was clear from the manner in which this commission was set up, and the report has been submitted. Therefore, follow-up actions will certainly be taken up. What would that line of action be will depend on the contents and the conclusions arrived at in the report, and there is absolutely no scope that will be given to anyone to
Okay.
even cry witch hunt.
Okay, final word to you, Sanjay Jha. Is your party going to have a major brainstorming now in anticipation of what Justice Dhingra's report could contain, allegedly very damning as far as the former CM of Haryana is concerned, and also Mr. Vadra's company?
Well, Padmaja, I'll agree with the BJP spokesperson. the intent of the government in setting up the Dhingra Commission was apparent. The fact that Mr. Robert Vadra, apparently one of the accused, was not even given a chance to go and face the commission and was not even sent a summons is a manifestation of the political witch hunt. The second point, very critical. I loved the arrogance of the BJP spokesperson who talks about the fact that, no other political party, definitely not the Congress, is competing with them. But let me tell you, this arrogance is going to cost the BJP dear. And this is actually a revelation of the nervousness within this party. Because everybody knows Mr. Modi is turning out to be a monumental disaster. Now, the truth is, as far as Mr. Robert Vadra's case is concerned, we will respond with documentary evidence. We will fight it in the court of law. Anything that this government does, we have very, very strong reasons to believe this is nothing but selective targeting of an individual who's a soft target. And bottom line, we'll wait for this entire report to be disclosed in public. We request the Haryana government of Mr. Khattar to put it in public domain as soon as possible.
All right, please put it out, GVL Narasimha Rao. Let all the details be public. If there's any wrongdoing, everyone should know about it. For now, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Sanjay Jha, GVL Narasimha Rao for joining us. KTS Tulsial also left us. A quick break now. On the other side, we tell you about the misery that has visited upon people again and again.